Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you're new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle, chronic illness, and sometimes financial updates over here on my channel. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then just keep on watching and make sure you subscribe down below. But today I'm actually going to take you through my debt snowball, if you will. It's not really a snowball, but we'll talk about it when we get there. But I'm going to show you my debt. We have quite a bit of debt, I'll be honest, and you'll kind of see that as we go through this. So this is something we have not been able to focus on for the last year, 2 years, because of some financial hardship that we were going through. So we are hoping to start paying off some debt this year, which we'll take you through, but I wanted to show you the starting point. I'm also going to be honest, my rice is going to go off in about 2 minutes. I'm making rice for Finn because he has an upset stomach, and I have the window open because it's 82 degrees outside today, which is crazy for March 3rd. But with that, you might be able to hear the little morning doves that are out there trying to eat all of the bird food. So let's get into my debt snowball. Okay, so if you can see this, hopefully you can. I'm just showing you quickly what our debt looks like as of right now. So these are some debts that we paid off. They were much more than this, like a couple years ago. And now we have different debts. So I'm gonna go through, I have it all broken out over here. The blue is our student loan debt. And then over here is our consumer debt kind of broken out so you can see that. But over here, I have my personal loan is $13,000. That is credit cards that I consolidated into a personal loan. Although, by the way, not all of these interest rates are correct. I just have them in there for now, but they're not all correct. Ben has quite a bit of credit card debt that we are trying to work through. Sorry, the birds are like having a field day outside. But so he has about $7,300 on one card, $6,800 on another card, and $7,300 on another card. So those are his three debts. His goal this month is to find a place to consolidate his debt, kind of like I did. My debt is actually, or my consolidation interest is actually pretty high. So I'm hoping that I might be able to consolidate somewhere else and get a better interest rate, but for now that's what mine is. Still better than like the 18% that you pay with credit cards normally, but his goal is to consolidate this. So when we do that, I will let you guys know what that looks like. Our next consumer debt is our car loan. We've made a video about this before. I can link it in the cards about why we bought a car loan even though we have debt. I know if you're like a follower of Dave Ramsey, which I am not, you might not think that that is a good idea, but we already still had to move my rice there, but we already had a car loan. It was just a little bit left and we needed a bigger car. So we actually have a better interest rate and a lower payment, but I'll leave that whole video up here so you guys can listen to that if you're interested in why we decided to purchase a car even though we have debt. And like I said, I sometimes use some of the language that Dave Ramsey uses. I think he has some interesting points, but I don't particularly agree with him as a human or as just like, I think some of the things that he pushes when it comes to finances is extremely scarcity mindset. And I also think that I don't think all of it's very helpful. And I don't believe in like not living a life until you pay off your debt. That's just personally something that we don't believe in. But if you believe in that, that's cool. I think that he has some really good steps and we read his book and everything, but it's just not my vibe. But I do consider like some of his tips very helpful. So moving on to our student loan debt, this is definitely not our first priority. Our first priority is going to be paying off this consumer debt for sure. To be honest, even the car isn't as much of a worry for me, especially with that low of an interest rate. And I don't know how long we'll have that car either. Then if you look at, so one of Ben's student loans is $2,400. His other student loan is $9,700. It's in deferment right now because that is a government loan. So that is in deferment right now. He also has another student loan. So he has 3 student loans, and that one is $10,370. I believe all of these interest rates are correct, but these ones, I don't know his credit card interest rates. Honestly, it takes so long to figure out what that is, so I just made them 17%. My Great Lakes student loan is $16,000, and that is in deferment because it is a government loan right now, so I'm not paying on it. And then my Moella student loan is almost $34,000. So that's definitely my bigger loan. I went to a private school and it was very expensive. I didn't have any help, and my parents only co-signed my freshman year. So every other year I had to pay for my loan on my own credit, which I didn't have any credit. So I think my student loan interest rate was like 13 to 17%. And it really kind of screwed me over. So I have quite a bit of student loan debt, but it is what it is, and we'll pay it off at some point. But our main goal right now is to pay off our consumer debt because I think that that is worse in my opinion. So over here, I kind of made a little graph as it is to just show what the consumer debt is kind of broken out. So I have $13,038 in consumer debt. And I say I versus Ben because this is debt that we created on our own credit cards, but it's really combined debt because a lot of my consumer debt is from over a year of Ben not being able to pay any of his bills when he was sick, and I ended up having to pay stuff and I didn't have enough money. So a lot of like food and just like normal living conveniences went on to credit card. And then I will be honest, like other stuff went onto credit card. We've talked about this in other videos as well, like coaching, all that kind of stuff that we kind of wish we wouldn't have done, but we did. So yeah, that's where that debt comes from. Ben has over 20 grand of consumer debt from his credit cards. A lot of that is from when he was sick. And then some of that is actually from the last year when we've been in like extreme financial hardship since I left my job, and Ben's business was kind of up and down. So that is what that is. And so this is very off. G2 plus, I was going to say, I wish it was only that amount. So we have $34,000 worth of like consumer debt. I broke apart our car debt from that because, again, I don't consider that, I mean, it is consumer debt, but I'm not as worried about it as I am for a credit card. I think there's a lot. I think credit card debt is like the grossest debt, right? Like I want to get rid of that. The student loan debt and car debt will work through, but I'm not like as worried about that. I feel like those are like quote unquote more normal debts. But I would love to pay those off as well. But like we're mostly focused on consumer debt right now. So our car debt is the $13,000. That's how much is left on our car. And then our student loan debt. So I definitely hold the highest amount of student loan debt there with $50,837.44. And then Ben has about $22,000 worth of student loan debt. So with that, $73,000 of our debt is student loan debt. So it's definitely the higher part of our debt, but I feel like $73,000 worth of debt versus half of that like is credit card debt, and that's just like the worst. So over here you can see our total debt number is $121,796.90. So we've been a little bit lower than that at around the 120, 119 mark. And then we've also been much higher than that in like the 130s. So we have paid off about $10,000 of debt, but then shit hit the fan in the last couple of years with our finances. So that is what our little debt snowball looks like. It's nothing crazy, but this is kind of where I keep track of it. I update these numbers usually monthly, sometimes not monthly, just because we haven't been going at them very hard, so it wasn't that exciting. But once we start like really hitting our debts hard, I'll probably be updating this a lot sooner. So I think the plan for this month is for Ben to consolidate his credit card debt, which will be about $20,000 that he'll have to consolidate. I think he might even have a little bit of debt in his business as well, but I'm not really sure. And then so we'll hopefully only have 2 personal loans that we'll be able to start attacking. And what we do, which is similar to what Dave Ramsey talks about, we do the Debt Snowball. And so we'll go with paying off the lowest. Is it Dave Ramsey, or does he say the interest one? I don't know. Either way, my interest is probably going to be higher too. So we'll be hitting first my personal loan, and then we'll hit his personal loan after that once these are consolidated. So the plan again is for him to do that this month. I can't do it for him, so he has to do it, and Ben does not like doing that kind of stuff. I don't think anybody does, but so he needs to figure that out. And then so yeah, the next couple of years we'll be focused on paying off $34,000 of a consumer debt. And then from there, we will start hitting these other debts, and we'll see where it goes. I'm really hopeful with where our income is at and how much we'll be able to throw at that stuff. I also will say though that we don't really have a savings anymore because we bled that dry in these last few months with our very low to menial income. So I'm hoping that we will be able to make some changes into our savings as well. So once we figure out what we're gonna do, whether we're gonna hit savings or debt first, or possibly both, I'll let you guys know, and we can do a video on that. Maybe Ben and I can do it together, telling you why we chose what we did. But yeah, this is what our little debt snowball looks like, just being completely open and honest about it. And we have debt. Some people don't have debt, and that's great, and I'm jealous of them, but we do. And now that we have an income where we can actually like survive, we are planning to pay this off. So I hope that you guys are interested, or I hope that you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.